With March break around the corner, you may be wondering about whether the coronavirus will have an impact on your vacation plans. Travel advisories right now in place for China, Iran, northern Italy, and parts of South Korea. But regardless of where you go, there are new questions about whether your travel insurance will cover you should you find your trip disrupted by the outbreak. With that, let's bring in Frederic Dimanche. He's director of the Ted Rogers School of Hospitality and Tourism Management at Ryerson University. So nice to see you again, Frederic.
Good morning.
So here we are. I want to begin with the news that we got in the last few hours, that there are now 2 Canadian insurance companies that will stop covering coronavirus-related trip cancellations. And there seems to be likely more to follow. So what does this change mean?
Well, first of all, they are talking about trips to a destination that are on the no-fly list. In other words, if you were planning to go to China, you would not be insured anymore. So now they believe that, now that it's a known threat, we know about it, we know about the coronavirus. It's not something that is unexpected. And as a reason, they don't want to cover this anymore. But they would be covering still destinations anywhere else, provided that they are not on the list of no-fly zone or no-visit zone, as indicated by the government. So again, I think people have to be very careful about what they pay for when they are buying a travel insurance. You may be buying travel insurance. It doesn't mean that you're going to get reimbursed if you decide not to fly to Europe, for example, to Paris or Germany. Those insurance are not reimbursing you for fear. They are reimbursing you should something happen to you in the event of a health issue related to you personally. So insurance will still continue to cover you for what we call cancel for any reason policies.
Which is a different category in terms of insurance, right?
Exactly. It's a different type of category, and you need to specifically get it. People are not getting this normally. So if you're a frequent traveler and you are concerned about, any kind of risk, basically, you might be asking for a policy, which is a CFAR, cancel for any reason policy. But few people would be buying this anyway.
So I guess that's something people have to factor in, the cost of extra insurance, because as you say, right now it seems that they're not going to cover cases that or countries rather, that are currently covered by an advisory. But as we see every day, different countries are being added to the advisory. So going forward, do people just have to expect to be paying more insurance if they want to protect their trips?
Well, once again, if you have taken your trip before the country becomes on the list of the advisory, you should still, be reimbursed. So what they are concerned about is that, people are going to be, going to a number of countries and asking for cancellation, even though the country, is not yet on the advisory thing. So, but the number of countries is likely to increase for sure. We don't know yet how this is going to be affecting Europe. We know there's significant cases in Italy, for example. France is over 200 cases. But I would urge, people to still be realistic about the situation and not to go out of fear making decisions about canceling trips. This is still a very small percentage of the population that is being infected in the moment. So don't make those kind of decisions just out of fear.
Don't make the decisions just out of fear, as you say. But, I'm wondering what type of effect this is going to have on travel. If we have 2 major insurers saying that they're rethinking of what coverage they're going to give to certain countries and outright not going to give it for those on advisory, what type of chill does that create for the travel industry going forward, do you think?
It's not a good signal. I mean, the travel industry is already being hurt. It's been hurt for 2 months right now, not just in Asia, not just in China, but also in Europe. The Europeans announced just 2 days ago that they were losing about 1 billion euros per month in the past 2 months because of the coronavirus. This is going to continue. You heard that all of the airlines are reducing capacity. Even a major airline like United in the United States reduced capacity by about 30% on international trips. And if on top of this, the insurance are saying, we're going to get out of the game, it's going to make people think twice about buying any kind of trip anywhere.
Any type of trip anywhere. And as we say, March break is just around the corner. So what advice do you have for Canadians that are trying to figure out their travel right now? Is it just safer to stay within country and find more domestic destinations as perhaps an alternative to going to another country?
Yeah, so again, I would encourage people to continue to travel, unless you were planning to go to a country or to a region that is significantly affected and that is on the advisory list. I would personally continue to travel. On the other hand, I can understand that people may want to switch their trip and decide not to go to Europe for March break, for example. And in that case,
Well,
I would
especially if
travel
you're
in
dealing with
Canada.
minors.
Absolutely. If you're dealing with kids, you have to be responsible for that as well, especially as part of organized tour group. We heard about schools, canceling trips, but it may be a good opportunity for the Canadian travel and tourism industry, because people may be having a chance to rediscover or to discover their own country and take trips, within Canada as opposed to going to Europe this March break.
Okay, Frederic, let's leave it there for now, but thank you. Good to speak to you again. That is Frederic Dimanche, Director of the Ted Rogers School of Hospitality and Tourism Management at Ryerson University.